you want to live and travel abroad, but you're just not sure where to start. That's okay, I got you. And hi, if you're new here, my name's Karen. I'm looking to live and travel abroad. And I'm actually getting that opportunity in the next couple of weeks to live abroad for 3 months with a company called Boundless Life. Now, one of the top reasons that keeps people from living and traveling abroad is remote work. A lot of companies are hiring for remote jobs. However, a lot of these jobs are not remote in the way that we think they should be remote. When we think of being remote, and I mean we, like millennials and Gen Z, we think anywhere in the world. But for companies in the US, that is not always the case. In fact, it's most likely not the case. Most likely, when they say remote, it means in your home country and sometimes even in a particular state, as some companies don't even allow you to work remotely in specific states, like California. So if you are interviewing or searching for a remote role that is a 9-to-5 company, make sure you understand what remote means to them. Are you allowed to work internationally for up to a certain amount of time? Or is this total free reign and you can just work internationally whenever you want, for how long you want? But hear me out. There is so much opportunity online right now. Back in August, I quit my job to become a full-time content creator. Now, I'm not saying to quit your job to be a TikToker full-time, but what I am saying is look at what your skill sets are. What are you really good at? And see if there is a space online for you to utilize those skills. I've been doing content creation for the past 4 years for my own personal brand. And while content creation can be very lucrative, it has good months and it has really slow months. So during those slow months, I need to be able to have something to provide me with a sustainable income. So I started reaching out to different people to see if they needed help with social media management and video editing to offset those slower months when I'm not getting as many brand deals. I now have up to 4 clients and I help them run their social media accounts. I get to set my own schedule. I'm location independent. I can go wherever I want and I don't have to ask permission. If you would have asked me this 9 months ago, I would have told you this would be impossible. But I'm here to tell you in living proof, you have a skill that you can utilize to be a freelancer. Now, this option isn't for everybody and I totally understand that. But for those who don't want to wake up to the sound of the alarm clock and you want to go where you want to go, when you want to go, and you're self-sufficient and a self-starter, really think about this as a way for you to earn income while you travel and live abroad. And know that it's not going to happen overnight. This took 6 months to build a client pipeline for myself and 4 years of trial and error as being a creator on social media. But now I get to go work in Portugal or anywhere in the world and do it on my terms. And so can you.
Here are 5 tips for finding a job while living abroad. First one is to sign up for Flex Jobs. So this is a website that will send you emails every day with any jobs that are available, and it points out if it's a global job where you can work anywhere or like what specific countries you can work in. Tip number 2 is to make sure that the company that you're applying for before you do the work will actually let you live abroad, because during COVID they made a lot of tax laws that doesn't let you have a US salary while living abroad. This brings me to my 3rd tip, which is trying to find contract or part-time work because the employer doesn't have the same tax stipulations as they would with a full-time employee. I've personally found that there's 2 types of freelance work or contract work. LinkedIn allows you to find some more longer-term contract works, and so I would go into LinkedIn and put in part-time or contract or temporary, and a lot of times the options I found were like 40 hours a week for 6 months. The second type of contract freelance work is kind of what I'm trying to do, which is setting up a consulting or freelance business and then kind of pitching myself on LinkedIn or through networking. My last tip is to look at all the side hustles that are available, because you can do content creation on TikTok, you can do digital downloads on Etsy, or you can even do like UGC content. There's a ton of platforms, so don't be scared to look into those options.
So if you want to move abroad but have no idea how to pay for it, this is the video for you. So what a lot of people don't tell you about their move abroad is how they paid for it, how they were able to afford to move abroad. And I believe most people are not forthcoming about it because it's not simple, it's not easy, and it's not pretty. I had to work a full-time remote job plus run a business when I decided that I wanted to leave the country. I had to literally take every single cent that I had to buy plane tickets, to book an Airbnb, to pay for visa fees, to do all of those things. And I would say more often than not, people that leave the country are working incredibly hard in the beginning. So life abroad doesn't get good until you get over the hump of actually moving and living. Because once you're in a more affordable country, you don't have to save so much money. You can finally relax. And that's usually when most people get on apps just like this one to talk about their move. They talk about living abroad after they've done all of the hard work. And that's honestly really a disservice to people who are wanting and desiring to leave the country, because it doesn't really give an accurate depiction of what's going on and what it takes to actually leave. If you want to live abroad and you want to leave within the next 12 months, you are first and foremost going to have to start saving. And you're also going to have to, at the very least, have two sources of income. I always recommend that people have a remote position, a remote job that's bringing them money, but also have some sort of side business, side hustle, something that's on the side that's also bringing you money. After the hurdle of choosing where you want to live, the second biggest hurdle that people are dealing with is finances, is being able to afford to leave. Financial planning is just as important as any other type of planning when you are choosing to start the process of living abroad.
The first place to start is figuring out where you want to move. And the best way to get insight on what it's like to live there is Facebook groups. Just start searching expat. Expat is short for expatriate, and an expatriate is someone who lives in a country that is not their home country. So like in Playa, when I decided to move here, I put expats in Playa, and I start finding groups like expats in Playa, black expats in Playa, families in Playa. Any kind of group that you're interested in is probably on Facebook. So click those groups, join those groups, and introduce yourself. Do not be afraid to say, hi, I'm whoever, I'm thinking about moving here. Can someone tell me what it's like, what I should know, the do's and don'ts? In Facebook groups, there's a search bar. You can search anything that's been discussed or a post that's been made in the group. So say you're trying to search housing, put in housing in a search bar, and anybody that's ever made a post about housing, that will come up. Read the comments, start writing down some of the things that people are commenting. It's all useful info. Next up is figuring out the visa process. Do you need a visa to go there? Can you come on a tourist visa? Like in Mexico, they give you 180 days to be here without having to get a visa, which is 6 months. 6 months is well enough time to figure out if you like it or not. Last and finally, you have to figure out how you're gonna close out the life you're living now. Do you have a family? Did you look up what school system is like wherever you're trying to go? If you're a solo traveler like me, are you gonna sell your things? Are you gonna put them in storage? Are you gonna bring them with you? These are all things you need to figure out, but do not leave things unfinished, because I promise you, if you leave in a rush and you didn't finish and close out all those chapters of your life, it's gonna pull you back, and that's a fact. This is more of like a Cliff Notes version, right? Of course, there's more intricate details, but in general, this is how you start the process.